Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the GOAT Marketing Show. Once again, we are Douglas, which is kind of a pun considering his name is Douglas. We are Douglas for this episode as well. It's actually just going to be John and I right now. The title of this episode is called The Power of Efficient Process. And when that kind of got me thinking about was that the least efficient process is the one where you have to do something twice. If you recall from the season finale from season 2, one of the exercises that we do here is called FLY, which is an acronym for fail, learn, innovate. And the purpose of that exercise is to make sure that failure isn't just seen as a negative. A lot of times failure is an opportunity to learn the L and of course innovate on the process that you failed on. We had an example recently where we wrote an email for a client, and when we delivered it to them, it wasn't the quality that they were expecting, and it was actually called out that perhaps this email had been written by an AI tool. And the last thing that we want to do is deliver content to our clients that is subpar. The best thing you can do when that happens is to own up to it and deliver a piece of content that far exceeds that. So today is going to be less of a conversation and more of a show and tell of how we can still use these tools, but to get more out of them. I think one of the things we always talk about is that context is king, and that what you put into an AI tool is what you get out. And so the most efficient way to use AI is to do as much as you can in the upfront aspect of it in terms of giving it the context it needs, making sure you ask it to ask you questions to get more out of you, so that your input is as high quality as possible. I think that's probably a good handoff to you, John. I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that, but I really thought this would be just a good example to share your screen and kind of walk through what happened originally, and then what we could have done better and show kind of the two different inputs to get way better outputs.
Yeah, thanks for setting that up. I don't really think I could have explained that any better. Basically, what I'll do here is I'll kind of show you like how I prompted ChatGPT to create the initial email that didn't work out how we wanted it to, and then we'll show you how we kind of took a step back and looked at it from a different angle and realized what we could have been doing better. So let me pull up here. We're just going to pull up GPT here, and we want this one is what we need. So, so this is essentially where we started with this. So we're doing just to test this. We're not going to give away any client information here. But basically what, this is kind of like the most basic form of how you could prompt ChatGPT to write an email for you. So, for instance, Giant Goat has a referral program. So we're trying to get people to do our AI audit. We need an email that introduces this program, and then we want a follow-up email as well for people. So,
quick caveat though, this is not a real program that Giant Goat has in place right now. This is maybe a bit of a wink, wink, nudge, nudge to Doug as something that we could do. So if you're looking for this and looking for your 10 hours of free web maintenance, it's not a thing yet. It could be, but we just wanted to use this as an example to write the campaign.
Yeah, thanks. So basically we see here, so it's going to write us our first email. And even this is a good starting point, but obviously like you can tell that this is pretty bland and like lacks a lot of character and human touch here. But this is kind of what we started with here. So you can see the follow-ups being finished now. And this is the one that we weren't happy with. Like, it's just so like cookie cutter. Like, you've seen this a million times. You get this email, you open it maybe, and then you read the first sentence and close it.
It almost seems like a scam. Like, who's going to click on this link?
Yeah, collect your prize, send us your credit card.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do like, and this was a big Doug thing, was giving GPT more of a context on how to actually write the framework for these emails. So I just want to show you some of the frameworks that we have been working with, and this is something that we've been discovering, like using AI over the past 2 years almost, is how to like use AI, and basically what we want to end up doing here is show how copywriters can still use their skills and not replace their work, but use their skills. And just the only thing that we're replacing with GPT is the actual typing of the emails. Everything else stays the same. You're just leveraging the typing so that you can get things done faster. You're still inputting the context. You're still using your brain. You're still using your creativity. So what we want to do with these emails now is implement some of these different frameworks. And the ones that we want to look at today, I mean, this like Get Genie has a lot of good frameworks here to use. The ones that we want to use today for these types of things. And the big consideration here is considering where people are in their customer journey when you're sending them these emails. So the first email that we sent there, the introduction to this program, is obviously it's an awareness phase. People are not aware of this program yet. We want to make it known that we're offering this. So the one that we want to use first is going to be the problem, agitate, and solution framework. So right off the bat, when we go back into ChatGPT here, we're going to ask ChatGPT. So let's just say, let's have a good conversation here. So these emails lacking character and like scams.
You can even say, I got called out for using an AI tool to write these, and that made me sad.
Yeah.
You can guilt trip the AI.
I got called out for using AI to write these emails. So let's rewrite them using the PAS copywriting framework. And let's see what that gives us here. And what you'll notice here is when you do it like this, this is not a one-step fix to anything. Like one of the things that we constantly talk about with using GPT and other things is like, you do have to go back in and have the back and forth. And it's just like working with anyone, like you have to provide feedback. You have to, it's not going to do it right the first time. And as you can see here, like we don't want to write in our email problem, agitation, solution. We're going to have to go in and tell it to make some adjustments here. But already we're making some progress, and I don't want it to do the second email, so we're going to stop it there. So that's good. Now it's isolated the 3 steps here, but let's have it make it sound like an actual email now. So the first email. So what I want to focus on here is the tone and the organization. So we want it to be obviously more free flowing, conversational, human. We want the tone to be professional, but also casual. And so let's see what it does with this now. Now that it has that framework, but we're also working in the new tone now to really refine this. And already you can see here, like it's still not perfect, but this is far better than what we had in the first email, the first iteration of this. Like it is conversational. It is definitely a bit like more engaging to read. Like,
yeah. And then the other part of like you had led with being a copywriter and using these tools, it's only replacing the typing. Like the copywriter who knows best will see this and know what changes it should be making. And if it doesn't get it, you can go in and do it yourself. Like a big part of it is still you should be doing the quality control and leveraging your skills there. Like one of the things I would do right away is just delete those titles where it's bolded out. That kind of looks like the framework. And the things I would highlight would be more like, the 10 hours of web maintenance as the main, hook point.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of how we could do this first one using the problem agitation solution framework there. And the second framework we wanted to look at here for the follow-up email. So again, considering where we are in the customer journey is they've received this first email. They are aware of the problem now. They're aware of the solution. So how do we bridge that gap now so that they see us as the bridge between the problem and the solution? Fancy, they have one called the bridge. And that's the one that we're going to look at for the follow-up here. So this one kind of will show them what they look like before the problem that they're facing, introduce the problem really, because some people don't even realize what they could be doing with AI. So we introduce them as a problem. We'll show them what it could look like, and then boom, where we fit in. So this is good. Let's move on to the second email. We want to write up the we got that right? The BAB? Yeah, nice. Let's keep the same tone. All right, let's see what that gives us. And see again, not perfect. It's writing some things literally that it probably shouldn't, but that's again something that you can tweak. Like we don't have to go in and manually delete that. We can say, hey, you know what? We don't want you to write out the literal steps. Let's have it. And this is again like the similar process with the last one. Like let's make it more free flowing. They don't need to know that we're using a framework for this.
Yeah.
But already, like even this is better than the one that we wrote initially, and we're not even done refining this. Let's just see what it does if we ask it to do more free flowing. I'm going to copy my prompt from earlier. Just replace the context here. So free flowing in humans, talking to the end user who is now aware of the problem. And we want to show them the solution and how we can get them there. And this might be something that I need to work on in my prompt, where if this is going to turn out another one where it puts like subheadings and stuff like that. All right, so it's changed them a bit, but that might be something that I have to go in and say, you know what? I don't want to use subheadings. Let's just make it just prose. We don't need to organize it like that. But This is definitely far better. Like it's, it's using analogies like juggling, trying to ride a unicycle. Like it's definitely making it sound far more human, and it is following a framework. I mean, I hope that illustrates the difference when we look at something like this and we compare it to what we did in the first one, where like this looks like what people write. Like it looks like people are using ChatGPT to write these scam emails. That's what this looks like.
Yeah.
So I hope this is a good illustration of still using copywriting. Like copywriting is not dead just because ChatGPT is alive. Like you still need to know the frameworks. And that's still something that I'm working on too, is like, you can't rely on ChatGPT for everything. It is still a tool. You still need to have the understanding. You still need to be using the concepts and frameworks and principles that we know are tried and tested and do work. And it's about getting GPT to use those as well. I think that's the secret, is using them in tandem.
Yeah. For any copywriter or anyone who's using this for anything, if you're the expert, it's your job to be checking quality before it goes out the door. I mean, there's, one of the really cool AI tools right now is Photoshop's generative fill. And it's the same sort of principle. Like just because you used it, like you still have to kind of go in with that fine tooth comb and make sure the edges are blended together and nothing stands out as bizarre. Like it shouldn't allow you to cut corners. It should just allow you to change the way you think.
Yeah. And I'll put the link to the Get Genie page that has those frameworks on it for any copywriters there looking to use some of those. Some of those are new to me. So it's always good to brush up on those as well so that you can use them.
Awesome. I think this is actually a pretty good place to wrap up the episode. When we're talking about process efficiency, doing the work up front is always going to allow you to have the most efficient process. Like I said, the least efficient is the one you have to do twice. And this is a great example of how you can prevent that. It's also a great example of owning up to a mistake and finding a way to innovate on a process. And I think that's just a great skill to have for anyone in any industry. Next week, we have Doug back on the show with our special guest, Joe. That's a really awesome episode that's going to be coming out. We've been looking forward to that for a while. So if you're watching now or watching the replay of this, mark that one on your calendars. There's going to be a lot of really interesting insights that come out of it. But John, thank you for joining me. This was our first time doing it, just the two of us. I think you did a good job. Thank you for going through that exercise. And we'll see everyone next week.
Yeah, thank you. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.